walk up in my room.
Hey, welcome to theLionhearted presents the Storyteller Sessions. We're here with Daniel Hassel of Rosemont. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
And we're here to hear some stories behind the songs that we put out this week. So, what was the first one we did? I think we did Rooms first, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me about Rooms. You might not even, honestly, you don't even necessarily have to tell the story specific of the song, because I think a lot of your songs are specific to kind of a general story, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of an overarching thing that kind of happened from one point in my life, and all of the songs kind of connected from that point.
Like, would you say Rooms and Breathe are almost like part of the same story?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Actually, no. Breathe is very much more of a recent thing. But we'll get to that one in a second.
So let's start with Rooms, then.
Yeah, so like Rooms is kind of based off of a time in my life where I was like really, really just sad. And I felt just trapped, and I didn't want to go anywhere, do anything. And it kind of just felt very mundane to just keep going and keep moving. So yeah, like you could hear it in the lyrics where points would be like something like and it's all because the thoughts in my head were God. Like I pretty much pointed out there that the way I thought and who I thought I was and who I perceived myself as was like the one thing that I took the most seriously, and like whoever else thoughts or whatever, like whoever else thought anything more of me, it would be less than that. I wouldn't even take that as seriously. But yeah, so like, yeah, it was a lot of fear, a lot of issues in terms of like, you know, just trying to be accepted and accepting myself for all of my pain. But I don't know, it was just something that came out of the darkest part of my heart, which is just hating myself. So that's the thing.
Okay. So, is there anywhere, does that connect to, so like, this has nothing to do with specific Storyteller, the songs that we've done here, but like, how does this connect to the story I know? Like,
oh, so like
is this connected to that specifically, like the one from like My Shadows and
yeah. So all of that is like, the Rooms is basically a byproduct of like what happened after the 4-year relationship and all that stuff. Like what I was told still haunts me. So basically,
so for people that aren't me, who already knows that part of that story, what's kind of like the you know, what's one of my thinking? Not the layman's, yeah, like the layman's term, or like what is the short story of like that 4-year?
Racism. 4 years of racism, where 4 years of racism where it was I was she loved me, which is funny because I didn't preface this during the show yesterday, but like she loved me, but her family absolutely hated me. Like her mother, father, siblings, like they all hated me. I will get text messages telling me how disgusting I was and how I wasn't going to amount to anything. And yeah, like I was told I was just, yeah, I was a failure. And
a lot of this is explored in an EP that Rosemont put out called Complacent Resolve.
Yeah, it's a great one. I love that thing.
So if you guys want to hear deeper parts of that, you can check out that EP.
Yeah.
On Spotify.
Yep, Spotify, Apple Music, stuff like that. But yeah.
And if I could be so bold, a fun plug would be that this song Rooms is actually going to be on a split with theLionhearted, so I'm very excited that I get to be associated with such a beautiful song.
It's gonna be high.
Yeah, so Rooms then is like kind of like a postscript to Complacent Resolve, in the sense where it's just like, hey, these are the things that happened and how I've like kind of dealt with the emotions of that, and then this is like the aftermath
Mhm.
and of like still kind of dealing with those pieces that haunted.
Right. The very the very shifty sand that I stand on after all of that. So like now my thoughts aren't like the song is like progressively just talking about like how my thoughts aren't fully my own, it's someone else's, and I'm just trying to navigate through all of that as a whole. But yeah, like it's just that's basically it. Yeah.
And so what about Breathe then? Where did Breathe come from?
Breathe came from a recent relationship that I just got out of about a year ago, and it was just weird because like it was out of a place of just like learning how to let go and learning how to be okay with like the circumstances as it is. Like you know how you just you care so much, you give so much, and then you think you're doing the right thing, and then later down on the road it's like yeah, things aren't working out because we're just whatever, we're different, or we're not really this, that, or whatever it is. Like that eats at you after you've been through it all. Like you've given so much, and then you're just like, oh wait, now it's done. And so like yeah, like the song is just like, yeah, I gotta let you go because like all of the things that I hold as like value in what we had choked life out of what we had, and now I can't repair what I had with you. There's no way I can go back to that, not even friendship. It's just dead.
Yeah. That's a deep cut, my man. We all know that.
Yeah.
Are there any lines in the song that like you think maybe like people listening to it aren't necessarily gonna like understand like the deep back part of it, but like there's something in the real life part of that story where it's just like, oh yeah, this is where this is like drawn from.
Yeah, like it's more of that bridge. So like yeah, like
What are the lyrics?
Before the words had choked the life from your eyes, where love had to die. Yeah, like that in itself right there. It's just like I had to let you go because before the words had choked. Like all of those things, like I just mentioned before. It's just I promise so much. Like I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be like protecting you. I'm gonna be the person that just never hurts you. But in the end, you do.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have to let it go. You have to let that unforgiveness for yourself go first, and then let go of the person that was involved. So, yeah.
And then the only other question I have, I guess, with story elements of it is like, is there anything with either of the songs where like you had somewhat of a story of kind of like the writing, where like the song just like maybe just came to you, or like there's some people who have stories that'll be on the Storyteller Sessions where like the actual writing of the song was itself had like a little story where it just kind of like came to them.
Well, with Breathe, that was fun because I was just messing around on guitar trying to play like Yvette Young, just with all the tapping and everything, and I just couldn't do it, and I was just like, you know, it'll never be as good, but like I found this one riff, and I was just like, whoa, this sounds way cool. And like we've talked so many times about songwriting as a whole and how it works for me and like differently for everybody else, but like for me, like my music is always like if I hear a sound and it's like it obviously sounds inspire me, but like when I hear it, there's something behind it. I've always thought there's something higher to it. So like in this case, like with Breathe, it was like I heard this sound and I like thought of the only two words that I could think of, which was breathe in, and then I was just like, okay, let's just keep on going and like breathe out, and everything else spilled onto the paper as it was. So like it was just awesome. Like it just came out. Like,
A lot of great songs come out that way.
yeah.
Well, heck yeah, thank you, Dan. I'm like super glad I got to have you on this and to do this.
Yeah.
Where can people find your stuff?
Well, social media presence, Instagram, Rosemont Official, Facebook, Real Rosemont, Twitter, Real Rosemont. Yeah,
For all
and
you fake Rosemont, sit down.
sit down. And then there's
Like Bandcamp, right? Like Rosemont.
yeah, sure. Yeah, Bandcamp, Rosemont Music. Spotify is just Rosemont. You can just find me there. Yep. Yeah, find me everywhere. Talk to me. Send me stuff. Whatever.
This guy is a beautiful, wonderful man. You gotta check his stuff out.
What?
And fun disclosure: this road is terrible, but this is where we are right now. So I'm just trying to get this interview done, and
yeah,
it's been a lot of fun noise pollution, and I think my arm might have been in the shot somewhere in here. So
maybe twice.
yay! Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wanted nothing more.